Okay, thank you, sir.
Good evening, Prescott Valley. Welcome to the August edition of the Parks and Recs meeting. We were off for a month. Hope everybody had some time to rest, catch up.
You bet.
Now it's time to get back to work. So starting with that, we will start off with a roll call.
Yes, sir. Can I have ayes or present to Commissioner Gummer?
Yes.
Commissioner Polican?
Here.
Commissioner Brinkman?
Here.
Commissioner Fallman?
Here.
Commissioner Hunt?
Here.
Absent is Commissioner Trevini.
Very good.
A quorum, sir.
Moving on, we'll go to the approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion for the approval of tonight's agenda?
I'll make a motion to approve tonight's agenda.
I'll second that.
I have a motion in 2 seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Very good. Moving on. Now we'll go to an approval of the minutes of the June 11th, 2019 regular meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes for June 11, 2019.
I have that motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it, Mr. Chair.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Moving on. We'll go to scheduled announcements. We'll start off with programs, classes, special events with Brian.
We shall. Commissioners, can you give me some feedback in front of you on your screens? Do you see Famous in Denmark?
We see you.
You see me.
There you go.
Okay.
There we go. Famous in Denmark. Now you're popped up.
Now we popped up. Excellent, then. Thank you so much for that. Tonight's presentation of programs, classes, and special events starts with Saturday, August 31st at the Theater on the Green, located right next to the Civic Center on Skoog Boulevard, is Famous in Denmark. This is an R&B, blues, and classic funk band that will be performing. This is a free event located again right here at Theater on the Green, that nice green grassy circle. Invite everyone to come out for an evening of entertainment. Again, Saturday, August 31st, 5 to 7 p.m. Prescott Valley Civic Center's Theater on the Green with Famous in Denmark.
Brian, I'm
Yes,
bummed because I'm on the Humboldt Education Foundation board, and our concert is that same night in the entertainment center.
Oh,
because yours got
no.
rescheduled.
It did.
So they're back to back, like right next to each other.
Wow. Well, I'm apologizing for that. I was not aware of that particular concert. But the cool part is you can run back and forth.
There I go.
You may even be able to hear the
We can
music.
entertain you and get you healthy all at the same time.
It's not the foundation's concert. It's Fane's concert, but the foundation does the beer garden.
That's
So.
exactly right. So we'll raise those monies and then come scooting on over. We'll boogie at both houses. How's that sound?
There you go.
All right. Saturday, October 5th is our annual Run for the Hill of It. This is at Glassford Hills Summit Trail right here in Prescott Valley. You can run, hike, or walk this wonderful event. Our registration is now open. If you need more details, please visit us on the website at pvaz.net or give us a call at 759-3090. Your registration can be accomplished online from the comfort of your easy chair in your home if you'd like, or you can stop by, visit us on the 3rd floor at the Prescott Valley Civic Center. We also have some new classes coming soon, the first of which is Backcountry Chef, in which you're joining backpackers Tom and Alicia Banks to learn how to prepare and dehydrate foods for camping, backpacking, hunting, and more. First class will take place Tuesday, September 24th. Becoming a backpacker. Ironic. How's that? You can learn how to be a chef for a backpacker and become a backpacker all at one time. Again, Tom and Alicia are leading this class. The first session is Saturday, September 28th. Introduction to the Appalachian Mountain Dulcimer. This is a new and free class. Learn all about the fun and unique instrument with instructor Gary Johnson. This is held on Mondays from 6 to 7 p.m. in the Civic Center, room 330. All ages are welcome. Youth under 15 should have an adult with them. If you have questions, please give us a call at 759-3090. Basic dog obedience is being made available. Our next session starts Tuesday, August 20th. This is a 6-week session program. The cost is $150. You'll learn the basics such as sit, stay, come, and heel. We hope your dog will pick up on those as well, too. But as the owner, you'll be in great shape. All classes are instructed by Legacy Dog Obedience. Again, if you need more information in regards to this program and its requirements, you can visit us online at pvaz.net or stop by and visit us at the office. That is a quick summary of all of our programs and services that we have available for you.
Very good. Any questions, comments? Okay. We'll move on to staff introductions this evening.
Tonight, accompanying me are two fabulous young ladies. I'm going to introduce the first. You may have come across her at a variety of our different special events. She has also served in the capacity of our Arts and Culture Coordinator. The reason why I'm bringing Mrs. Hope Hooper forward to you tonight is to not tell you about her past, but tell you about her future. Hope has accepted a promotion within the Parks and Recreation Department, and she is now serving as our Recreation Supervisor.
Very good, very good.
Congratulations.
So I will turn things over to Ms. Hope. She can talk about what her new adventures are, what all of our expectations shall be, and congratulate her on her promotion. Ms. Hope?
Thank you. Nice to see you all again. Hopefully I'll be seeing you more in my new role. I'll also be learning a lot about the administrative side of our department, as well as aquatics, athletics, and outdoor education. So rounding out my knowledge of those areas so that I can better help our staff to put on the best events, activities, and leagues possible. So I'm excited, and training's already underway. If you guys have any input or suggestions or help for me, I would gladly take it. Except for you, Buzz.
Right, well, we'll save the best for last. Ron?
No, I think you've already done a lot of good things for the
Thank
town,
you.
so on the department. But so now you're kind of in a little newer, a little higher position. What do you have new lined up for us?
Well, right now I'm trying to just sort everything out and figure where we're at outside of arts and culture, so that I can help us move forward. I know the master plan is going to be a big part of that too, so it's great timing. As far as I'm concerned, I can move forward as we move forward with that and keep going in a good direction.
Good. Anybody? Good, Larry?
So the position that you just received, is it new or was it vacant?
It is a new position.
Oh,
yeah.
great.
So very exciting.
So
Very
that was
exciting.
new in this budget?
Yes. And it was opened, I believe, July 1st or 2nd, and quick process, and we had a lot of good applicants from what I understand, and I'm very fortunate to move up, so very happy about that.
We're glad you did.
Yeah.
Congratulations, really.
Thank
We look forward
you.
to working with you.
Thank you, likewise.
And I can't believe we're actually paying her to do this.
I know, right?
So it's
Fun.
yeah, and I'm ecstatic, Hope. I mean, you've been with us for so long, and you've done so much for us. You've got the personality, you've got the customer service skills we're looking for. I am just thrilled to see you take this position and improve our Parks and Recreation Department.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you so much for coming tonight. Anybody else? Very good. Hope, thank you so much, and good luck in your future.
And I'll introduce our newest athletics coordinator, Marissa Gillerdoni. And did I say your last name correct? Gillerdoni, sorry. And I'll let her speak about her experience so far, and she's been great. So she might be a little hard on herself, but she's doing a great job.
Hello, I'm Marissa. As Hope said, I started mid-May as the athletics coordinator. I do have a pretty long history in Parks and Recreation. I started as a swim instructor when I graduated high school in 2005. Not here. I just moved here to Prescott Valley from Southern California. But I spent my time in aquatics, and then I worked at after-school programs, and then took a little break to get a master's, and then I did a class coordinator position, which oversaw contract classes, as well as helping with special events and all sorts of stuff. So a lot of experience, and now I'm just getting settled in and figuring out adult softball and field allocation as those are approaching quickly. That's about it.
Any questions?
So my same question was this vacant or is it a new position?
It was vacant.
It was vacant. Okay, great. What brought you to Prescott Valley from Socal?
Life. Yeah. I have my boyfriend and I have a 1-year-old daughter, and we wanted to buy a house. Wasn't going to happen in California. Babies change everything, and I was like, okay, fine, maybe I can live somewhere else. So we started looking. We actually relocated our whole family. My mom moved here as well. My grandma is at Granite Gate Senior Living, and my dad is currently building a house in Yavapai Hills. So big old move.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I don't think we were quite done with her yet.
Oh my goodness. What about you, Buzz?
Welcome to Prescott Valley and the Parks and Recreation
Thank
Department.
you.
So I think we were, as we all see, Brian's staff that he ends up picking up that come to us, the vast knowledge, experiences that Marissa's bringing to us, aquatics, very well needed in town.
Well, especially now.
You bet. And I think we are just fortunate and lucky that you decided to get the heck out of California and come and visit us. And we're very glad to have you on.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here. I was part-time in California. That was another drive. Was looking for a full-time position, and I was lucky enough to secure this. So here I am.
Well, I think you're going to do great here. A lot of our programs have a lot of participation, so it's going to be a challenge for you to figure that out and put it together and improve it.
There you go.
We always like to improve things.
You bet.
So,
and you will be under the scrutiny of this commission.
All right. I'm ready.
It's not a threat, it's a promise.
Cool.
No, Marissa, we're very excited to have you on
Thank
board.
you so much.
Now she can go now.
I may. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Marissa. Very, very good opportunity.
So, Brian, how many positions did we get new positions did we get in the budget?
We have the one new position, which was our recreation supervisor. One of the goals I always have for all of our staff members, and that simply is to continue their growth, their expansion, those types of things. So the position that Marissa is now filling, some of you may remember Bree. She was with us. Bree took those opportunities that we provided her. She gave us almost what I asked of her. She gave us nearly a 3-year commitment in that process, but in doing that, what she learned with us, she was able to take up and strongly better herself with that, which is exactly what I want from all of our staff members. Hope's an internal understanding of that through those processes of growth and achievement, so we filled that. We're going to backfill Hope's position in arts and special events, so we won't become lesser. We'll become a little more full, but that also means that we've lost some institutional knowledge as well, too, with the loss of Bree. We've just recently, was it 6 months or a full year for Bryce right now? So our now senior coordinator on our team will be just finishing up her first year evaluation. So we do have some losses, but through that we've gotten a lot of gains. We've grown people, which is what we want out of our programs and services. We're getting new knowledge base that's coming into town. Folks like Bryce and now with Marissa as well too. They're varied, more experience, more knowledge, differences help enrich the services that we provide as well too. So it's good to have that. But we're strong across the board. We're going to be conducting some interviews here in the few short weeks, so hopefully we're able to rope in some awesome qualified folks into our team and continue to grow and develop. So
Brian, how are we looking staff-wise compared to, say, national averages? You know, if you think back just a few years, we had a lot of blank spots on the...
We did, and basically we've grown right back into our staffing levels that we had during our lean times. We've grown with a couple of technicians on our park side. We're growing in our rec side right now with our supervisor. The awesome part about the big question that you have in regards to comparisons, how that all aligns. We're in the process of our master plan, so that's a full 100 or 360 degree viewpoint and participation. So we're going to be comparing ourselves to ourselves. We're going to be comparing ourselves to others. We're going to be looking at what our service levels are. Are they where they need to be? Is it where our community wants them to be? So we're going to be going through a lot of analysis in regards to that. And then come June, that will be presented not only, well, probably a little preceding June, but not only to you, but also to council as well, too. So we're going to be learning a lot about who we are, who we want to become, and where we're going to be 10 years from now. And that's the fun of what our master plan is going to do. So I'm going to lean back on that to answer your question, because I think it's the right thing to be able to do.
Well, you answered part of it.
Oh, in regards to our back part? Yes. So we're back in the game.
So, Brian, how many vacancies do we have now?
Right now I have 2, and again, both of those are on the recreation side. All other components are full. We do have one of our part-time permanents. He is out on a sabbatical right now for his personal development, so we're going to support that enrichment that he's going through right now. And then we're transitioning out of a lot of our seasonal employees right now through our aquatics and other programming services. But uptaking in other areas with officials and umpires. So we're never at a point where, oh, it's your slow season. I hear a lot of people say that. Yeah, not really. Not for sure even what that is.
Well, the classes you have going.
Well, and that's ultimately the goal. We're always supposed to be doing more and different and varied and through those processes, and that's really what our recreation staff is going to be doing. Again, part of that master plan process. We're going to learn about what are our shooting star classes, which are the ones that maybe just need to take a break because they're not functioning based upon what our citizenry wants. And that's going to be the fun part of the master plan, is we're going to get a lot of that feedback that's going to cause us to go back and go how, why, what, where, and when to be able to produce what those desired needs and outcomes are. So we're pretty excited. And the nice part about having new folks is that keeps that energy going.
New ideas, everything is new. It's good.
And we'll be able to see what programs, are not functioning well because we don't have the facilities.
There's a whole combination that goes into that, and facilities are definitely one of those. And we're being evaluated right now in regards to facilities. And that's another part of that expected outcome of our master plan. Exactly.
Any other questions, comments? Hearing none, we'll move on to the department updates, and we'll go to the director's report with Brian.
I have included, you have both June and July in your packet as far as departmental report. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have there. Quite a bit of activity going on. I did take your suggestion. I took a little time off, ventured off into Colorado, enjoyed myself, came back, got right back at it. But the most recent big thing I want to give an update to, if you recall, the department sent out about a week and a half ago a notice in regards to a lightning strike that had occurred in Mountain Valley Park. And unfortunately, that lightning strike came right at the backside of the main restroom facility there in the park. Well, it actually hit what's called a step-down transformer. So we went from one power voltage down to another to then deliver that out through the rest of our park infrastructure. Well, when it hit that particular transformer fed the artificial turf field sports lighting, the bathroom lighting, the skate park, portion of the parking lot lighting, and some other amenities scattered throughout. Well, I'm very happy to report that through due diligence, investigation, all of those types of things, we found a replacement transformer. Our subcontractors have been actively engaged through that process. We're hoping that before Thursday of this week, through those reviews, tests, and inspections, that we might actually be a full week ahead of what we hoped we were going to be able to do, and be able to have the power on and active there at the park. So I think that's, again, a good reflection in regards to our team, also with our partners and subcontractors that we have out there to be able to respond, because they understand the importance of being able to serve our community, its program services, and folks that are engaged in that. So we'll be ready to go, and everybody can start having fun again in the way they wish.
I had one comment to make really about the report. I heard good things about the 4th of July fireworks. I saw them from a distance, which was from work. But it was a wonderful remarks all over, the old interweb and social media. People were saying, I left the Prescott show and the Prescott Valley show was still going, and all those fun things. So you guys did a wonderful job putting that on, it sounds, and
yes,
traffic wasn't that bad.
Thank you. No, I appreciate that. Shared with the commission tonight is a little thank you card expressing the same thing, so we get some correspondence. We also had a fantastic voicemail that was left on our phone system. Lady indicated that she was in her late 70s and said a couple of things in regards to some other events. She saw ours, and her response were, and just as exuberant as all get out, they were awesome. Thank you. Appreciating that. So I appreciate your reflections as well in doing those.
Even the newspaper played it up very well.
They did. So, and the pyrotechnician, those folks really know how to do a good job. And I personally was blown away about on the finale. We've had some really nice finales in the past, but this one was varying in heights, and diameters, colors, the whole bit, and very, very much patriotically themed. And so lots of fun, so very enjoyable. So I'm glad you all had a good time too.
Very good. Any other questions, comments? Moving on, we'll go to the chairperson's report. So what I'd like to talk about tonight is, I'm glad the staff is here tonight and Hope taking over. The Parks and Recs Department tries so hard to put on a very good programs, softball leagues, soccer leagues, all the classes people can take and things like that. But sometimes some people might find something wrong with what they feel is going on with a class or a program or something and such. So it's always so easy to find the negative. I think all of us can easily spot a negative. We rarely look for a positive. Even in our work and our everyday life, it's so simple to find a negative. So when people start talking, say perhaps they're in a yoga class and one person says to the other, this instructor doesn't do as great as the one I used to have. And it turns into be people talking back and forth to each other saying, yeah, you know what, you're right. And maybe I'm not going to come to this class anymore. So what we need to do is trying to get the public to come to Brian or Hope or staff and give them an idea of what their thoughts are. That way, they can't fix a problem if they're not aware of it. And I would like to try and encourage the public to, if you have a situation where you don't think something's right and you're paying money for this and you're just, call the Parks and Rec Department. Call and talk to somebody, because they will appreciate also knowing and hearing these things, saying, you know what, we can fix that. But on the other side of the coin, I would like to also encourage the public, look for the positive. We have a lot of wonderful programs and a lot of wonderful fields and things in this town that's given to us by Parks and Recreation. And I've learned to try and quit finding the negative, and I try and look for the positive now. And when I go around this town and I see parks and children, and I just think, boy, this is what we're all about. And we're excited for Santa Fe Park coming. We're excited for the future of the master plan. So I encourage everybody, please, look for a positive and give the staff that phone call also.
Yeah.
Say, hey, I appreciate you guys, what you're doing. I enjoy your programs. I'm having a blast. It's always better to hear a little positive. It's easy to find negative. It's a little bit harder to find the positive, but we can all find it. And I know Brian's staff would love to hear either side of it. They want to fix a problem, and they love to hear about a great situation. Questions, comments?
Well, just, some of the classes, just as you were saying, were free, some are paid for. But when you think of it, it takes an individual to take on that role as instructor and get out there. And so if you expect some national guru in whatever the class is, you're probably not going to have them. But you really should look at that positive aspect and think about, this person is taking the time and effort to help me learn this. And most of us really aren't that skilled in a lot of these things. So it is really pretty nice for them to do that, and important. Feedback to the supervisors, to Parks and Rec, is also important. There may be times, but I'm with you. Keep it positive.
You bet. And because like on that what you're talking about is we could not even have a certain class that the people are taking.
Well, think back a few years.
I remember.
If you actually go back a few years,
we have a heck of a lot. So we are. And again, I thank the staff and Brian for all of the things that they do for this town and the programs. And if you're not involved, it's nobody's fault but your own. Okay, moving on, we'll go to the tree advisory business. Tonight, I will let you know that we have a grant application in for trees for the Santa Fe Station Park. We have our big 15-year Arbor Day celebration coming up, still looking for wonderful ideas. Brian and I were kind of throwing things back and forth one day, and we have a memorial tree program in this town. And we thought to ourselves, why does it have to be a memorial tree program? Why can't it just be, I want to sponsor a tree program? I'm a business. I want to put my tree out there with possibly my name or my kids or my grandkids or my whatever.
Or your business.
Or your business. So I think we're going to try and offer that up a little more to people in public and let that out there and say, hey, our big 15-year anniversary is coming up. We would love everybody to sponsor a tree. And if they don't really need the plaque and such, we have coordinates. We can coordinate every tree in this town. And you can go on a computer and find out where your tree is, or if you possibly would say, I'd like to have a tree here, we can arrange it. So all those people out there thinking about it, I'm going to look into it for my grandkids. I think it's a wonderful thing to put a tree in a park and let my grandkids come as they grow and say, that's my tree. I think that's an awesome idea.
Well, we probably have to put a plaque on it, though, no climbing.
Don't touch. We'll fence it off.
When is the 15th year celebration actually?
I believe it's going to be Arbor Day.
Oh, Arbor Day in April?
Arbor Day is going to be the big kickoff.
And where is it going to be this year?
Celebration.
Santa Fe Station Park.
Oh, we're going to have it at Santa Fe Station.
Yes.
Okay, good.
And so we're looking for ideas. We're looking for great big turnouts. We're excited. 15 years is quite a bit to celebrate for a Tree City. Yes. When I say there's not a lot of Tree City communities in Arizona.
It's been very successful.
We are one of the top.
And we do not want a park that does not have a tree in it. So, hence why we're at Santa Fe Station.
That's right.
New park, new construction. We need some new trees. So we're going to get that done.
You bet. Any questions, comments? Moving on, we'll go to old business. We will start off with the Boys and Girls Club construction update with Brian.
Yes, sir. Just wanted to let everyone know, if you did not see in the newspaper, we had a wonderful little ribbon cutting ceremony, which meant that the construction was done, and our development partner there, the Boys and Girls Club, was able to gain access to the facility, make the preparations necessary to successfully host some summer session activities for their hundreds of young people that they had in-house there. So currently what we're working on, some finishing up touches. Of course, with any new construction, we still have to continue our relationship with our builder to have a little extra help on some items that was a matter of discovery. So we're making those corrective efforts so that the house is whole, which I will let you know they're very small and minor. Beast Contracting did a fabulous job with all the work that's out there. We're under discussions right now, again, with our partners on this project, Boys and Girls Club, as well as also the Northern Arizona Sons, as the Sons charity donated the gymnasium floor for this particular project. And so it's an NBA-sized and scaled gym in which the players and team will be practicing there. So we're going to be exercising our agreements that we have for facility use. Once that's all in play, literally, pun intended, because the team will be full bore at that point in time, we're going to be conducting an open house that has yet to be scheduled, and we're anticipating sometime in October. So that's what we're looking at there. So construction, check, done. Operations, next in line. So that's where we're going. Getting ready to have some fun, crazy that's going to happen coming up here real quick. So pretty excited about it.
Yeah, it's going to be great. Do you know, have they had the tryouts for the, like more or less the public can come and try out for the Suns?
Those are coming up here pretty quick. I believe they're in September. Don't hold me to that. And they will be conducted at the Finlay Event Center.
Well, I know that Elaine has been interested this year in trying
Yes.
out for the Suns.
Point guard or center?
Can slam dunk.
Yes.
Yes. I know you got some jumps. So I know you got
She's
that.
got some skills.
Yes.
So it is in September.
Skills. Stand correct.
Any questions or comments? Moving on, we'll go to the Santa Fe Station Park construction update.
Yes, for Santa Fe Station, if you have not driven by lately, here's a quick little peek at it. We're actually well beyond the image that we've taken here. Hopefully you're seeing it on the screens in front of you. If not, I can make that little quick switch for you. Our pickleball court is constructed, developed, fences up, lights are up. We still have yet to bring utilities into the site, so that's another part of our process and phasing of this construction. We will actually have our crews coming on site and starting to begin the color coat process for the courts, so that'll be a next step. All of our sidewalks have been extended from the parking lot down to the playground, so now that'll allow the playground installers to come in, provide the connective elements that will come from the sidewalk into the playground, then the pour-in-place surfacing, and then from there we already have a volunteer group lined up that's going to assist us roughly towards the end of this month in putting all of the engineered wood fiber in for us, which is fantastic. Got a nice big youth group that's going to come out and help us with those types of things. So really appreciate that community connection and involvement. And if there are any other folks or groups that would like to do that, ironically, Santa Fe Station, because it's a new park, we'll be looking for an adoptive family. So if you'd like to adopt Santa Fe Station Park or a few of our other parks that are available, please feel free to reach out to us. We'd like to help you make those connections in adopting a park here in Prescott Valley.
What does that entail?
That entails a monthly commitment for a minimum number of hours to come in. There might be some assigned tasks that we need to look at in the park. It could be some improvements. It could just basically surveying, monitoring the park. We might be able to find some things that need some attention, maybe picking up some unfortunate scattered litter that has trickled in, those types of things. So review, feedback, but we also might have some projects that we're having in other park sites that perhaps aren't adopted, or another adoptive group needs added assistance, so we could look in schedule those different opportunities up. American Legion was an example in which we had a couple of different groups come out and we repainted the bathroom, we planted trees, we did this, we did that. So those different types of projects springboard up in different locations and putting those things together. So always looking for that added help. That goes out to trails, parks, all those different types of things where we could have that assistance, and it would be greatly appreciated. Our next steps, our contractor for all of our irrigation system that will allow us to be able to start planting seed and growing the turf out there, following in Arbor Day with trees and plants and shrubbery. That is beginning its processes this week as well too. So hopefully in the next 30 days or less, we'll have an irrigation system in. Utilities will be connected to the park. We'll put down and level out the topsoil, and we'll start grow our athletic turf and open space turf that'll be there at the park. So those will be some of our next steps. We'll also be putting in a service road to our websites because we have a neighbor directly right there in the park with one of our pump stations right there. And then we'll be finishing up the park hopefully by December. The restroom will be ready. We'll fly another restroom in and drop that there on site. That will then be followed by a ramada. So those will be some of our finishing touches as we go
Will
through
be
that.
in this budget year?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
and
great.
we'll talk about that a little bit deeper too on some of our capital projects.
Yeah, that's
doing that. So
Question of,
Yes.
you ever going to start the dirt bike path on the rest of the land at Santa Fe Park?
that's going to be another future phase of development. That right now, the funding that's available would not allow us to put in those bridges that would span that drainage corridor. So that will be a future element that will come with us, as well as the rest of the park too. Yeah.
So you said the restroom by December?
Yes, that's what we're anticipating.
Now, and is that now a prefab?
Yes. So this would be much in the same line of development that we have over at Bob Edwards. The nice part about that is with a stick-built property, number one, you have some integrity issues. If you're going to go in with 2x4 and drywall and porcelain and things of that nature, it does not hold up to a long-term survivability. So this is going to be poured concrete that actually emulates split face block. It comes with a 20-year structural warranty to it, which you would not get with anything else. It'll have commercial-grade apparatus, commercial-grade operating systems in it, and it's total turnkey. Literally, when it arrives, it gets set in place, it's connected, the utilities are hooked up to it, and in less than a day, you have a fully functioning facility going on right there that has great reliability and long-term durability to it.
So it has been ordered? Is that?
It is this far away from being ordered. So that is one of the items we're working on the developer with.
Because I remember the delays in.
Yes, all of those elements that we went through with Bob Edwards have already been pre-satisfied. So literally when the order goes, it goes directly into production.
Will the park open, Brian, before we have access from Glassford Hill directly into the park?
Yes, the park will open before that roadway intersection exchange is constructed, yes.
Very good. Any more comments, questions? Hearing none, I know we're excited for this park to soon be open.
I agree.
And I know that and as we're on this park, we talked about pickleball. You would talk about pickleball court information later, or would you cover that now?
We'll jump into that as it reviews into facility user and use policies.
Perfect. Okay, moving on. We'll go to new business. Capital projects with Brian.
Yes, just wanted to give the commission a quick update as we're entering into the new fiscal year. We're well underway, but a few of our projects, I know we've discussed them at length at a variety of different conversations in the past, but as we mentioned earlier, our master plan is well underway, probably getting close to midpoint almost, and I wanted to remind folks that if they have not seen this information in a variety of forms of media attention, I wanted to take this opportunity to reinform you that we do have a project website related to the Parks and Recreation Master Plan. We want to welcome you into this process. We have listed here a variety of different key events. We'll be posting technical reports as they're being made available. But the big thing that we want to do is encourage you to participate. This is a direct portal to provide your comments, your wants, your needs, your desires in conveying that to us as it relates to parks and recreational elements in the town of Prescott Valley that will then be added to then a comprehensive plan for the next 10 years of existence for Parks and Recreation. This can be found at its own independent website because, again, this is coming through our consultant, so it's processed in that way. This is at www.planpvparks.com. Okay? Encourage you to explore that website, get some information. My contact information is in there. Our consultant's contact information is in there. The information that you send via that email link comes to both Mike and I, and we will make sure that all of that information is added in regards to the community input for Parks and Recreation Master Planning for Prescott Valley. So encourage everyone, please take a little bit of time to look at that. If for some reason down the road you're like, what is that website? I did not remember what it was. I did not capture that information. Please go to the town's website, and on the Parks and Recreation page, you will be able to go then and find that link directly right there and engage, review. This will keep you up to date as the program goes through. So when we receive technical reports and those are issued, the consultant meets with either commission or council. A lot of that information and data will be posted there too. So it's a very transparent process for us. Okay.
Are we getting much of a response from the public?
We are. We're gathering quite a bit of information. For the last several months, we've been having focus group stakeholder meetings. Last night, we had our second community input meeting. Again, another one of those social media local newspaper, radio programs in which we've announced and sought folks to attend. We had quite a few varying and different points of input that ranged from pickleball items to swimming items to dark sky compliance items to park development. So it was a very well-versed conversation of discussion. So that is exactly the type of engagement that we're getting. Also, part of our master plan is that in the month of September, we're going to be having a very random, statistically valid survey that will be mailed out to folks. When we say statistically valid, what we're talking about is that we're capturing the demographics of who Prescott Valley is. So we're looking at all age demographics, all racial demographics, all income demographics, all demographics related to where we live, scattered throughout town. So not all the surveys are just found in unit, 37. Just arbitrarily picked a number there real quick, or they're not coming out of Stone Ridge or Quailwood or however, but that is a well-plotted process. We have key partners as members of this team that have been in this business for decades. They are the top dogs as is related to parks and recreational surveys, so that was another excited element of making the choice of our master plan consultant of who they were partnered with, which is Kimberly and Horn, or ETC, I'm sorry, out of Kansas City, I believe. And so very excited about having them on board. And again, we're well underway in regards to evaluations of our infrastructure. Staff is deeply engaged in regards to their reporting and analysis of data and information related to park operations and recreational services. So we're busy, but at the same time, not busy enough that we don't want the input from the community. We do want. This is not staff-driven. Staff is only a portion of this. This is a community master plan for parks and recreational services, and that's the input that's sought. That is the most important. And then we're developing that program through a variety of different standards. One of that is it's not a dream plan. It's a functional, living, operational plan that's reasonable and accomplishable. I don't want to say that we're going to build the Disney park for Prescott Valley Parks and Recreation. Why? We can't afford that. Let's be realistic about what we're trying to do and accomplish. But it's also going to have strategies built into that of methodologies and ways we can do that. Talked about a lot of our public-private partnerships that we have here. That's going to be another key component of this, looking at grants, looking at other opportunities. Community volunteerism, that has strong, heavy-weighted value to it. It's very important to us in Parks and Recreation. So we're going to have a variety of those different strategies and input elements that will come from this. So pretty excited about that.
So I went last night just to hear what was happening, and I was impressed. There was about 19 people there, They seemed mostly all from the same neighborhoods, I thought, off of Glassford area. They were very interested in Agua Fria Park, had a lot of questions on that. But the consultant did a dynamic job. He talked about total cost of ownership, and he talked about the CIP buckets on sustainability, expanded services, and visionary. And so I think he hit all of the points. There were several questions, but it was very, the person that was asking the question was very specific about their needs. So, but I thought it was great. I was really impressed that he said, you know, there's like 144 different funding sources, and they're going to narrow it down to the top 10 or 15. And I thought he reassured the residents a lot on their comments, and I think that the consultant that we have is money very well spent.
Ron and I sat in on the actual, I guess, board just to choose, and they were so impressive. I think Ron and I were both just blown away by this man and his professional team. And like you said, they've done this a while, and they touch on every aspect we need.
Well, we interviewed 3 very professional companies, and these folks stood out. And I think it was quite apparent to us at the end of that selection process that they would do an outstanding job for the Prescott Valley. And I think as we progress through this, it's going to be amazing. It is key to get the public out and tell us what they want. And so I'm glad to hear that we had some participation.
Yes.
It is interesting, too, that they would mention Agua Fria.
And, you know, that's really the fun part about all of this, is that it reconfirms for us, from a staff perspective, that folks are vested. They want to know. They are engaged in those things for a variety of different reasons. And so, you know, we had, as I mentioned earlier, we had some folks that had some interest in X and activities in Y and so on and so forth, rightly so. But we also had folks that were interested in regards to dark sky compliance. We had folks that are interested in open space. We had folks that were interested in facilities. So it was a very broad conversation. The dozens upon dozens of emails that have come in have been very diverse as well. Some of them in line with the conversations from last night. Some of them very much independently different. So that's what's fun. And we've had folks that are making comment in regards to reflection on the general plan, the old master plan from the department, what we're doing now, where we were back in a day, and things of that nature. And then interest in regards to where are we going to find ourselves, you know, a few years from now. What's the 10? What's the 20? You know, where do we see us being, and where are we going to go? And then ultimately, how are we going to get there? Very important. So yeah, so master plan is well underway.
I have one more question. So
Yes,
that
ma'am.
website that you showed and that he showed last night,
Yes.
where you can click on,
Yes.
when you click on that, do you get to fill out that survey you had us look at?
No, the survey itself will be random.
Okay.
So that's what we were referring to there. Now, let's say that you're aware of the survey, you're waiting for the survey, the month of September has gone by, and you didn't receive one. Well, you were one of the unfortunate non-Willy Wonka bar winners, for lack of better terms. Put my honorary spin on that, okay? That is the importance of this, okay? Because, again, it's going to be statistically valid. It's going to hit all of those arenas that we've already discussed. But just because you didn't get one doesn't mean that we're not interested in your opinion, your thoughts, your needs, your satisfaction. So that is where this link is very important. For a brief little window following the survey, where you actually have a full-blown community survey, it's probably going to be 3 to 5 questions with some elements that we didn't get information on. So we'll have that. That's going to be no holds barred. Everybody and their cousin that is aware of it, knowledgeable, and we will broadcast from the hills that opportunity to participate in for that window of time with those questions that are going to be out there. So that's another opportunity of engagement. So there's been a variety. There still will be a variety. Folks coming to these meetings and engaging with us here, collecting that data and information, visiting with us, sending us emails, and emails being very important. And I say this just not directly to staff or directly to the important, but using this portal because it's independent from us. And that's an important thing from a staff perspective. Nothing's being lost. Okay? Everything's being collected and analyzed and added to that record. And that's what we want, just like last night with all of that engagement. So, Michael and I are weighing that as well too, going through that. So this would be our second one that we've had leading up to last night. So, okay. In addition to that, on our other capital projects, once the pool season ends, which will be later in November, because right now we're still hosting some aerobic classes, and as we always have for many, many moons, the Bradshaw Mountain Bear swim team. And so they'll be there all the way through their season, and hopefully we have some bears going crazy in the state championships. So that's what we'd like to see. Ironically enough, not because we had 24 plus inches of snow over the year, but just because our fleet mandates it, we're going to make some improvements with our trucks and our parks fleet. But in addition to that, we're going to add a couple of snowplows to it. Okay. We also have, you remember a piece of equipment we bought a few years called Ventrac that helps us with a lot of our turf, some other specialized purposes. We're buying some more attachments to go to that, and that was part of its appeal, was its diversity. So we're going to be able to expand its capabilities. We're also doing some improvements on a lot of our concrete flatwork surfaces, sidewalks, entryways, those types of things. So that's a budgeted capital item. Some parking lot work throughout our system. American Legion is going to be having a new Ramada coming in here in just a few more weeks. And unfortunately, that's about a 12-week lead time. So we're probably 1/3 of the way there right now, and so that'll be soon arriving. And then, as we talked about at Santa Fe Loop, a new Ramada at that park. Our pickleballs are about to wrap up. The playground also is about to wrap up, and then also the new irrigation systems and turf expansion that we'll have out there. So that kind of wraps up some of our capital projects in this next fiscal year. With that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions, comments? Hearing none, we'll move on to the facility use fee schedule and policy.
All right, so tonight in your packet was shared with you a couple of different items. The first is a possible future resolution as it relates to the fee schedule for Parks and Recreational Services. Those amendments before you tonight that would then in turn become recommendations that staff would deliver to council are focused in two simple areas. The first, both items happen to relate to new construction. The first one, which is located on page 3, is an update to our current athletic field court rental rates. The item that's added here is the word courts, and what we're focusing on is an update of our fee schedule that would then add pickleball courts to our use policy. These would follow pretty much same in light with how we operate for like athletic fields and ramadas and things of that nature. It also is in close comparison to our regional brethren and sisters in Prescott and other areas in the Quad City region. We have categories listed as Category A, which are sponsored or co-sponsored activities, Category B, which are intergovernmental agreement partners, Category C, residents, Category D, non-residents, and Category E, for-profit or commercial operations. The recommendations that are presented to you is that there is no charge within Category A, sponsored events and activities, which is consistent with our fee policy as it is established today. Category B would also fall in that same light as an intergovernmental agreement with those folks that we are partnered with. Category C would be our residents. This would be a $20 per hour fee with a $100 refundable cleaning and damage deposit per court and a certificate of insurance. However, that would not be applicable in this case. The court rental does require a 2-hour minimum, and no prep is provided for that use, but it is a reserved use. Again, much in light in comparison to our surrounding communities. Category D reflects a non-resident fee of $35, and then Category E for commercial purposes would relate to hosting tournaments. A staff recommendation is that that not be applicable in this case, predominantly from the standpoint of it is only 4 courts, and the support amenities necessary in hosting a tournament far exceed what the particular park site can provide. A maximum of 34 parking stalls with other park amenities and operations is not a conducive process. So those are our recommendations as it relates to the fee schedule for pickleball courts, specifically in this case because those are our only facilities and they're located at Santa Fe Station Park. Then located on page 9, which is your second to last page of this document, another new facility was added, and this was the expansion of the police department. Parks and Recreation is the caretaker, scheduler, reserver for all rentaled properties throughout the town of Prescott Valley. So if you are running to rent this particular room, the auditorium, here at the Prescott Valley Public Library, or any of our other facilities, Parks and Recreation is the conduit for the community to engage and do that. So in this case, the police department has available their conference room. This was the same room that you were in last night, Commissioner Hunt, for our community input engagement process for the master plan. This is their conference room, and it does have an hourly rate. This is very much in comparison because the room provides some very similar amenities to it as the Crystal Room right above us here at the library, and that is a resident rate of $50 and a non-resident rate of $66.50. We feel that that is very reasonable and compatible, again, in regards to the amenities that that particular room provides, and also requires then the $100 refundable cleaning and damage deposit. So those are the 2 recommended updates for the facility use policy. Staff did not engage in any other review of the totality of this entire schedule because that is an item that the commission will take upon itself at a future date and review and analysis of those types of things. These are just happen to be 2 facilities that are brand new, needing to be made available to the public if they would so wish to engage in doing that. So those are your staff recommendations as it relates to a fee schedule. Happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Questions, comments?
I make a motion that we approve the ordinance. Is it an ordinance?
This would be a resolution for, yes.
Yeah.
So with doing that, so yes, if we have a first, if there was a second.
Second?
Yeah, I have a motion, a second. Pretty good deals, I think, for rentals. Pretty good pricing, and I think it'll help a lot of people afford. So I have a first, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Hearing none, we'll move on. All right.
Are we going to go through pickleball court information?
Yes, ma'am. What I have for you tonight is an actual operational policy. This will be an item that will come back to you at a later point in time. I wanted to hand this document to you for your review. Staff will continue to update it, modify it as it relates to policies of use and operation, and we will do so with input and recommendations from our Prescott Valley Pickleball Association and their leadership team there. These items, again, what we try to do is keep everyone on the same page. Again, it's reflective of pretty much standards across the board as it relates to pickleball play. The primary focus is here that these courts are open to the public. They will work so under the winter and summer schedules is what our Parks and Recreation system has, which is a winter schedule of October 1st through March, 7 a.m. to 10 p.m., and then a summer schedule of April 1st through September 30th, 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. That is a matter of ordinance and town code. Our court rules and definitions, as indicated in this particular document that's still under development, is that when the courts are busy, there should be 4 players per court, no single games or drills. That's when they're busy. In other words, maximize the opportunities that you have available to you. If a court is occupied, the next two, which would be paddles on the fence, that is a operational context of players, and what they're saying is, we're next. May challenge in. Challenges should then be acknowledged by those on the court. There would be a 3-game maximum with a rotate out of 4 new players in. Okay? This would be a very awesome thing to see, and that is everybody's ready to go. Okay? So how to play at Santa Fe Station Park pickleball courts. Open play is every day unless events are scheduled. Events may include lessons, clinics, rentals, or other town-approved events. If courts are full, which means it's a high demand period, place the paddles on the fence and challenge in. Winners may stay for a maximum of 3 games and then rotate out. Losers depart, the next challengers play. If you would like to play privately with the same group, please consider a rental of the court with the Prescott Valley Parks and Recreation Department. The park closes nightly at 10 p.m. and court lights automatically turn off at 10:15 as a matter of courtesy, allowing you to get your stuff and your party together and out the door, which should be by 10 o'clock. But by courtesy, we're extending those lights till 10:15 p.m. and then they automatically shut off. Prescott Valley Parks and Recreation Department rules. We ask that folks please adhere to the following. Courts are for pickleball play only. Pets are not permitted on the court at any time. Please wear non-marking athletic shoes. Report damage or unsafe conditions to the Parks and Recreation Department. Any objects that may cause injury to a player or damage the court is prohibited. Please demonstrate good sportsmanship. Foul or derogatory language and inappropriate behavior is not acceptable. Proper attire is required at all times. If the court is occupied with players, do not enter the court while play is in progress. If a ball is hit into your court, call ball in court, stop play. If necessary, replay that point. Items found unattended should be taken to the Parks and Recreation Department for lost and found. Programs, lessons, or other scheduled play must be approved in advance by the department, and users of this facility assume risk of injury. Our lost and found is our Parks and Recreation Department, located in the town of Prescott Valley Civic Center, located at Skoog Boulevard. Court closures would occur when weather is a factor. The Parks Division will lock down the courts when snow and or ice would be present, and will unlock them as soon as it melts and the courts become playable. This is done so as to prevent anyone from shoveling the courts and damaging them, or worse, play on them and get injured. Courts will also be closed for rentals and scheduled events. Some or all the courts may be closed for public play for rental and or scheduled events. Court closures would occur for facility rentals. Similar to other town facilities, those interested in renting the pickleball courts for a couple of hours per court, the Prescott Valley Parks and Recreation Department has developed a court rental program. However, no commercial tournaments are available. Court closures would also occur on the basis of instruction. The courts are public. Town code prohibits individual commercial services on town property. Formal pickleball instruction programs are available through the Parks and Recreation Department and can be secured on the website. Individuals seeking to become an instructor or other activities are encouraged to contact the department for scheduled services. The court can also be closed on court wash day. This is scheduled for Wednesdays in the afternoon from 1 to 3 p.m., and it would be considered a closure of all courts so that those maintenance services can be conducted. So we would ask folks to pay attention. This doesn't mean that it would occur every Wednesday. Wednesdays would be the day in which it would be scheduled, and for those times, just for the convenience of folks that would like to play there on those open courts. And we would encourage everyone to please help us in cooperating with that so we can have a clean and fun facility. So this would be those operational policies that we'd be looking at. So what I would like for you to take the time, review these, see if there's some other considerations that we should be looking at, or additions made, or removals for consideration. And from that, then we would provide them that future recommendation for inclusion in our policies for parks and recreational services.
Just from prior experience when it comes to courts or surfaces, artificial or concrete, just beverages would be a good recommendation to add for clear beverages only, because if somebody brings a Gatorade out and dumps us on the court, you're going to ruin a surface.
Right.
And make it unusable.
Excellent.
So open play
Yes.
means you can just go there and start playing.
Start playing,
no need
yes.
for fees or...
There is absolutely no fees in regards to this. These courts are designed to be open and available to the public. There is a variety of different things that do happen on pickleball courts, so long as they are supervised. There is challenge play, there's skill level play, there's social play, there's a variety of different things. We encourage community play. And so that's what we're looking at here at these facilities.
But if you're a member of an association, say the Prescott Valley Pickleball Association, then you can reserve those courts for a period of time.
Anyone can make rental reservations. So regardless if you're with an association or just Joe Blow out on the street, that's available to you. We are engaging the Prescott Valley Pickleball Association for those folks that are certified instructors. So we'll have a variety of different classes, those types of things. We'll have some clinics made available, doing all of that type of good stuff, and then scheduling programming then behind that.
Does this follow any of the rules that Prescott has?
There are some very similar aspects to this, yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And again, that's kind of the beauty of our design, or at least our thinking is, so that whether you travel from Prescott to Prescott Valley or from other facilities that are also using those types of things, there's a degree of commonality.
And how are you going to have the public be aware of these rules? You're going to have a sign posted?
We would definitely have signage there on site.
Quite a lengthy...
Yes, and the other thing is there would have to be signage that would be added in regards to knowing how to indicate your challenge or you're ready to come out and play as well. So we would have to indicate the different courts, their locations of 1, 2, 3, and 4.
I just need clarification here. You want us to review this, give our opinion and
Yes.
what we think it changes for when? By next meeting?
If we can do that sooner, that would be fantastic. I'm also collecting input and data from our local pickleball professionals as well, too.
So Brian, do people that play sports or play on this pickleball court have to sign the same kind of waiver that those of us that are in like an exercise class sign?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yes.
So they'll get to read some of these in that, too?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it'll be reiterated for them as well, too.
And I think for us to fully understand this pickleball is before the courts are possibly open to the public, that our commission should get out there with an instructor and actually learn the game a little bit.
Second that
But see,
motion.
you are an instructor, aren't you?
Well, no, Elaine was the one that I was referring to. And I know she's a little upset that she can only be on the court 3 times before you have to get off.
Well, commissioners, if you will bear with me, the other added advantage to this is each of you will be equipped with a paddle. Chairperson Gummer will not.
Oh, good.
So
I know where my
That sounds
paddle's
fair.
going.
That kind of turns into like a dodgeball pickleball.
I'd like to know what proper attire constitutes.
in other words, keep your
Have
shirt
clothes
on.
on.
You have to
Yeah.
Keep your shoes on.
Everyone keeps their shirt on.
And you know, I've played with a few of the people around town as the pickleball, and when you worry about will people actually let you in, and you have they are a very, very nice group of people, and they offer help if you're a beginner and you show up out there and you tell them, hey, I'm kind of a beginner. I mean, they do teach, and they're a wonderful group of people, and they're very fair, and they want the sport to grow as much as we do.
Exactly.
And it's a lot of fun if we can get out there.
And as you've had in the past, you've had some visitors from the association. They're trying to grow and develop funds to create more pickleball courts within our system. And that has a designated location. We have a development agreement with them. It's going to be located over at Antelope Park. So this is a beginning step to them because they've not had facilities in Prescott Valley. Now they do. So they're very much a partner in what we're doing and how we go about these types of things, because that's going to lead to their future
There would be 6
expansion of
courts over
opportunities.
there in
Yes, ma'am. Yeah. So this is a good thing.
But doesn't a court cost like 50 or 60,000?
This particular project, these 4 had us right around, I believe, 140,000.
They'd have to raise a lot of money to do a court.
It adds up. They're projecting somewhere between 160 and 185.
Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
So 5 a.m. during the summer?
Yes.
Is that isn't going to be a problem for our friends in Granville?
Nope.
Okay.
Because you're going to be an in-control pickleball player.
You know, I'm out on my morning walk at 5 a.m.
And you can do that here at Santa Fe Station Park,
I
too.
won't be at the pickleball.
Understood, sir.
Very good. Any other questions, comments? I think it would be a fun time if you could get the commission out there maybe sometime and let us all kind of
You might be surprised.
see what it's all about.
Yeah, because, well, we have to balance this equation. Lane's going to be trying out for the Suns, okay? So now we got to see how the rest of you
Already
are
a
doing
pickleball
with pickleball.
guru.
That's
Yeah.
right. I think it's only fair.
I was actually waiting for all you guys to come to the pool party so we could have cannonball competition.
You waited a long time, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. I was all ready, though, wasn't I, Brian?
You were. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
And we had plans to come, and I had my Speedo picked out that night. Of course, we had a family thing with children, grandkids and stuff, and we had to miss. But I was all prepared. Shaved and everything that day.
Well, thank
So,
you.
any other questions, comments on our facility use fee schedule? Hearing none, we'll move on to other. So before we start wrapping things up here tonight, I just want to mention one thing about the town of Prescott Valley has an opportunity to have a young man represent us possibly represent us in the Olympics. And that young man happens to be Brian Whitty's son, Joe. I think we should be so proud of the opportunity to possibly have a young man represent our town in the Summer Olympics in shooting. And I just wanted to pass that on and let the public know. There was an article in the paper, but it's been kind of downplayed. And of course, Brian, I'm putting him on the spot. He doesn't like to go too far into this because of his son. But like I said, for a young man to dedicate what he's done, he's going to school, he's practicing for this, he's working hard. And I think we should be so proud to be a citizen of this town of Prescott Valley where we could possibly be represented by a young man. And Brian, I just hope things go so well for him and yourself, and I'm excited. I just can't wait to hear the results.
Yeah, thank you very much. Joe definitely has worked hard. He's worked hard for a number of years. You know, at that level, it's easy to get beat down and walk away.
You bet.
He's got a great deal of fortitude. You know, I hearken back, you know, when I was going to school, had to work my way through it. So I was working full-time, going to school full-time, set a goal for myself and was able to accomplish that. We set a goal for him. And really, he set a goal for us, is what it really boils down to. But we've got a very strong and healthy relationship with our children. They both know and understand that you know, a lot of us go off to school. Sometimes it turns into more of a party than it's supposed to be. My folks made it very clear to me that I needed to just figure it out. Okay, and so hence I was working. Mother and I have agreed that at best we're at the table for 50%.
You bet.
Because we need to understand that this is something that we need to work for. It's our livelihood and it's our future for him in doing that. We also were very upfront that his goal would also be our shared goal, and we would support him with that. And this goal is he wants to be part of USA Shooting and the Olympic team, and his goal is to do that. Now, whether it's this particular year of 2020 in Tokyo, or 2024 in Paris, or 2028 hopefully in Los Angeles, that's his goal. And based upon the goals that he's set before himself already, working full-time, paying for his apartment and his housing and doing all of those types of things, and the partnership we have for his academic adventures, he has got a lot more goals behind all of that. And he's achieved near all of them on his way. So, yeah, he put himself on the map this year. He went to Colorado. Was literally number 2 through 3 of the 4 days of the tournament out there, behind our 2-time gold medalist, Olympian, as the number 2 guy. He unfortunately stumbled a little bit, but he finished his day as a finalist. He also finished his day as the collegiate champion, defending for the 2nd year in a row, doing that. But he went in tied with 3 other competitors, and lowest man on the totem pole through that tie. And when we say lowest, he came into the finals as number 6 competitor by total score. He had 238 out of 250 possible targets.
Yeah.
But there was a 3-way tie. And because he was low man, that meant he was the first one out. He could not defend against that. So pretty exciting times.
Very exciting time. And I can't, I just hope the town can pull together and support this young man and just give all the accolades. And like, I can't wait until you bring him in front of us, with him wearing his gold medal, and present him to us as a gold medal winner in the Olympics. I think that'll be a wonderful thing. And I do. I hope the town jumps on board and just supports this young man for the things he's achieved. For a young man his age, he's done quite a bit.
I appreciate your support.
And we know that it's very difficult, but we are definitely proud of him. We're proud of you because, we understand not only the time sacrifice, but the financial sacrifice. Those shotgun shells and equipment are not cheap, and nobody gives those. We're in a country that doesn't support our potential Olympic athletes. It's all on your own. So the travel and all that expense, it's a lot of sacrifice to get to this point.
Exactly.
And, so we're pretty proud of you. And I'm with you, Buzz. I hope the town and community steps up and really honors and
takes a village. Takes a village.
There you go.
Joe himself classifies you as his right-hand man, and that's a wonderful compliment for a father to receive. Right?
Yeah.
And what's scary, if you look at his picture, he looks exactly like you.
I think that was the only downfall I saw. He looks like his father.
Yeah, the poor young man.
I felt sorry for him.
He could have done so much better. His mother's beautiful. Her side of the family's fantastic. The genetics were just really cruel to him. So yes, he lost on that deal.
Yeah, that's the only downfall he has in life.
He's winning with so much.
Looks like the old man.
Thank you all.
Moving on. Any more questions, comments?
How did we do in the National Recreation and Park Association 2-step challenge? And were you the dancer?
Well, that's probably why staff is going to report we didn't win, because, yes, I was participating in that. They made sure I was in the back on almost all aspects of this, but, yes, I happily participated in that. And you know what? Kudos to this gang back here and others that aren't here with us tonight because it was a lot of fun. Plus, we gathered a lot of participation from other folks outside of Parks and Recreation participating in it as well. We had folks from the court, we had folks from the library, very, very diverse. Public Works, town clerk's office. So, we really represented the town's entry into this, and it was just a fun little get-together. So thank you for hopefully not watching much of it, but at least from us. And I take that, I shouldn't say it that way because it's coming out negative, but at least that one guy in the back, because his coordination was a little bit off in doing that. But no, we've submitted them into that. I don't know that, have we heard back anything as of yet? Okay, and that. A lot of likes. Outstanding. Okay. So there's a lot of comedy, apparently, again, in the back corner of all of this. But I would imagine it's part of our national conference recognition and awards is what I'm thinking. So, okay. So that's where we're at. We're hoping for the best. More likes, more votes. All of that will help us along. So, again, creative, fun folks.
Good. Anything else? Hearing none, we'll go on to unscheduled public appearances. If anybody would like to come up and speak. Seeing none, we'll move on to our next meeting, which will be a regular meeting, Tuesday, September 10th, right here in this auditorium. And we will probably have a little more on our plates as the season goes on. So if that's all we have, I would move for an adjournment.
I move that we officially adjourn this meeting for Parks and Recreation Commission Tuesday, August 13, 2019.
I'll second.
I have a motion second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Very good. We are adjourned. Thank you, Prescott Valley. We will see you next month.